Okay, this is part 2 to my spirit doll making class online. It's not really a class, it's just an instructional video. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I stay in this area right here. I'm just going to use a couple popsicle sticks to keep me in frame, so don't go past there. Don't go past there. And don't go past there. Okay, that's good. Okay, welcome. So let's get started right away because my videos keep cutting out on me, so I don't know how long I'll have before this cuts out on me. So let's talk about how to get started with making one of these spirit dolls. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need are some type of a wooden disc. I just picked these up from Dollar Tree or Dollarama. I think it was Dollarama that has these, but here in Rocky Mountain House where I live, I'm pretty sure you can get these at the dollar store on the main street here, but I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, I can't remember where I got them. Whenever I see them, I always buy them, and they sell them in different places, but the dollar store definitely has them. These are my printable faces that you can purchase from me. They're $10 a sheet, and you get a variety of different faces that fit this. I sized them to be the right size. So I have them posted on my Facebook page, Art by the Métis Mama. If you go to the top and click on photos, albums, something like that. I created an album specifically for printables, and yeah, they're 10 bucks a sheet. So the first thing to do is get yourself some faces. Alternatively, you can hand paint a face. Like this is a hand painted face, this one is a paper face. I did this one in a workshop, a spirit doll workshop. So whenever I do a spirit doll workshop, I always make myself a doll just to make something with the class. So, and then I finished her off at home. This is a hand painted face. Okay, so I just used acrylic paint and I painted the face on that doll. So anyways, these are pretty thin discs. I don't like them this thin. I usually double them up by just putting some really strong glue in between. I usually use Mod Podge, to be honest, and I'll just do it just to show you. Just for teaching purposes, I will show you what I do. I take my Mod Podge. I don't know why I don't like the thin ones. I guess it's because I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it. I guess sometimes when I make the dolls, you can kind of see the sides of the faces, and when it's too skinny, I just find it kind of looks funny. So that's why I like doubling them up. So I just double them up like that. And Mod Podge is a good glue because it's pretty strong. It takes a little bit of time to dry in between. I'm just going to add a little bit more for strength. And then I just sandwich those together. And then I take a very thin coat. You don't want it too thick because then it'll bubble. And then I put my face on. And then make sure during this stage that you're keeping an eye on it and that it's not bubbling, because that sometimes happens. You could probably use gel medium, probably work better, but I don't have any, so I just use Mod Podge. And then if you see it starting to crease or bubble, it just like flatten those out. So yeah. And then if you find that the side, and you can just push your finger along the side to get that paper down. But if you're like, if there's too much paper overlapping and you don't like that, what you can do is take a nail file and you can just go around the edges with your nail file and file off any of that excess paper that's hanging, that's bugging you. And you can do that all the way around. Just make sure that you don't do it too, like on the top part. You're doing it kind of like on the side. Sometimes if you do it too much, it can take off a bit of the face and leave a little bit of a paper scar. If that happens, don't worry, you haven't ruined your face. You can either take a little bit of paint, or what I like to do is I take my sepia archival ink and I just ink my ink pad and I just go around the edges with my sepia ink pad just to cover up any of that paper scars that I left from sanding. So there's always a solution. It's one of the reasons I love mixed media art so much. So I am not going to use this face because I already picked out a face I want to use for this tutorial. So I'm going to put that back. This is my little bin where I have other faces in that I've already prepped for Spiritual Workshops. So actually, maybe I'll use that one. No, I want to use that one. Use that one next time. This is actually a new face that I just brought out, so I wanted to try it out. So let me see here. Here we go. So the first thing you're going to need is some kind of a stick. I use popsicle sticks for my workshops because they're so cheap and affordable, right? And you will need a glue gun. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your face and you're going to put it, so number one, if you want to have hair on your doll, because you don't have to have hair, you could just put a hood over your doll, and I'll actually get a doll to show you what I mean. So, you don't have to put hair on your doll. You could do something like this, okay? But today we are going to put hair on it for teaching purposes. I'll do another doll in a separate video for that kind, but I think you'll be able to figure it out you'll figure out how to do this kind after you see me do this one. So, we're going to put hair on her. So, we want to make sure that there's a little bit of a lip right there to anchor your hair on. So I already have hair here, so you would leave a little bit of lip, put your glue there, and you would anchor the hair on there. But the hair doesn't go on yet, so we're not going to do that right now. I just wanted to show you that. So we are going to, actually I'll put the glue in here first. Put some glue on your glue gun, use your glue gun to put some glue on your popsicle stick, and then just put your face on. If you want a longer doll, you can certainly add 2 popsicle sticks together to make her longer. You can also use a piece of wood like this instead of a popsicle stick, but there you go. Okay. The next step is, let's get these out of the way. We're going to build up the body of the doll. I love using felt because it's lightweight and it's thicker, so it doesn't take as much fabric to build up the base of the doll. Okay, so I always like to start with just a little bead of glue on the stick just to keep the fabric in place, and then all you're going to do is start wrapping. Okay, again, a little bead there so that it doesn't shift, and hence the name Bundle Wrap Doll, because it's being wrapped up like a little baby. in being swaddled. Okay. Now, I don't like to put the fabric too close to this part of the doll because sometimes it bunches up too much and it doesn't leave much of a neck. So I try to not overdo putting too much close to the bottom of the chin. Kind of leave a little bit of a space there. And you'll see what I mean as you're making your doll. So alternatively, I know some people don't like using glue guns for things. They like all natural, everything. Just remember that everything comes from Mother Earth anyways, so but if you're worried about that, you can always sew things on too, right? So so you're building up your base to the thickness that you want. You don't have to keep going here if you don't want to. If you're like, oh, I like that thickness, I'm going to start building over top of it now, you can do that. But I like mine a little bit fluffier, so I'm going to just give it a little bit more material. And I like using strips, like how I've cut these into strips, because I just feel like it's easier to wrap the doll with. But there are so many different ways of doing this, and no way is wrong or right. So that is the thickness that I like. And I've already picked out some random scrap fabrics from my fabric bin over here on the side that you can't see. And I'm just going to go through it and just start layering different fabrics. Okay, so where should we start? I don't know. I guess I'll start with maybe this one. No, let's cut. Yeah, actually, yes. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to put that one right under her chin. So, you know, when I do these workshops, I give people the basic instructions, and people just take off and do their thing, and their dolls look so cool and amazing. They give me ideas of new techniques of building my dolls in my workshops and in my studio. So I kind of like sort of the chaotic, beautiful mess look on my dolls these days. Sort of like, well, I wouldn't say she's chaotic, but like her hair is kind of very all over the place. It's got a lot of different colors in there and textures, and the feather broke on this one, so I have to replace it. But okay, so now purple is calling me here. So, and I pulled out a bunch of pink stuff, so I might have to dig through my bin again to grab more purple, but let's do this one. I really love this fabric. This is such a great way too to use up your scrap fabrics. I think we all have tons of scraps in our stash, right? And I kind of want to see that orange, so I'm not going to cover it completely up. Let's do that. I need another glue stick. I'm so used to the heat of my glue gun that when I touch the tip and the glue when it's hot, it doesn't even faze me anymore. Oops. Hate it when it does that. Always tries to pop out on me. Okay, there we go. The glue, this always pops out on me, it never stays in. Ugh. There we go. Okay, I have these ones here, but I'm not sure. Do I want these? Yeah, I'll use this one. Or wait, I think I should use this one. I think I'll use this one, but I'm gonna just trim it a bit. I love that sound. My husband absolutely hates it when I rip fabric. And I love the sound of it when it's ripping. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a weirdo. Okay, and those, I love these threads hanging off, and keep those. Okay, I like to keep those. Let's see, what else can I do? I pulled out this fabric, but I'm not sure I love it. So sometimes when I'm not sure what else to add, I'll move on to the next step, and then I can fill in more later. But so you can do however you want. A lot of people like to ask me, how do you close up the bottom? There's different things you can do. You could make a tail like this, which is, I just gather a bunch of scraps together, I lay them all down, and then, like, say if these were all scraps, I'd lay them all down, take a string, tie them in half, and then just kind of glue them in there. Or you could tie them in with the tie, like that, tie it in and make a little tail. So that's an idea too. This one, okay, here's some purple. I want to add some purple in here. I really want to add purple. So let's do maybe a band down here. I don't like how thick it is though, so let's see. Will it let me? Perfect. Okay. And I'm just gonna tie. I don't know what it is. I just love the different, the different colors. And you can also tie like what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna tie this on like that, and then I'll just, it's just different ways that you can add your layers. You don't have to do it the way I do. You're just getting on the fabric. I have this one too. Should I add some of this down here maybe? Maybe I will. Let's cut a little bit of this off. Throw that back in the bin. And I'll throw some down here. I'm just gonna start here, and I probably use too much glue sometimes, and then other times I don't use that much, so it varies. Okay, I want that to show. I don't want this to be covering it up, so I'm gonna trim that off. Okay, so you don't need a lot of fabric. I had this butterfly on the side, and I thought I might use it, but it's not going to fit. It's not going to be a good fit for this one, so I'm putting it to the side. So yeah, you could make a tail. The other thing, all I do is I just stuff whatever in, grab some glue, stuff any loose ends inside, and then I just glue it shut. That's all I do. Yeah, just glue it shut like that. I mean, that's one way I do it. Another thing I like to do is, like, once I glue it shut, once the doll is all finished, I'll add little embellishments to hide that. So I'll show you that in another video. So, okay. I hope I'm staying in frame. I haven't been looking. So if I have been getting on frame, I apologize. I'm really trying hard to stay in frame. Okay, the next thing I like to do is add hair, or it's like here it's like been wrapped like a sage bundle. So you could either do that now or later. So I think I'll do it now. This is my little bin of scraps, scrap yarn and so forth. So let's just pick something out of here. Let me see. What? This one? This one here. Here's one. So I don't know. I just like the different textures, is what I was saying earlier. Some people like to have like one solid fabric. Some people like to make it kind of more like a dress. You know, there's different ways of doing these. I like the different types of fabric, the different prints that are on the fabric, colors, all that stuff. So that's why I like using different kinds to build something. So I just tie it on. I just tied it on, and then I'm just wrapping around the doll. And I usually just put a little bead of glue to keep that in place, and then I'll do that again. We'll tie it, and you can again with the just like we did with the fabric, we can do the same thing with the strings that we use, or the yarn, or the ribbon, whatever it is we're using on our doll. We can do the same thing with this stuff. So that's one layer of I don't even know what you call this. Is it eyelash trim? I don't know. That's one layer. So now I'm not really loving what I'm finding in here. Let's see, there's gotta be something. Maybe this one here. This one I'm just gonna glue right in there, tuck that in. Let's glue that right in, and then do another kind of layer of yarn. Okay, so there's another one. So I could keep adding and adding, but you kind of get the idea there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add hair. So I've already like made some hair here, and I'll show you how to make the hair. The other thing I was going to mention, or maybe I'll just show you, is how to build up the back of the head. So you can use, there's a bunch of different techniques that you can use to build up the back of the head. All I do is I'll take a little bit of this felt, and this just gives more volume to the back of the head. And I just kind of do a little layer of felt, and that's it. I don't make it too big. It's not too thick. It just to kind of give a little bit of thickness back there. Then I just put that on. Trim off those little pieces there. Okay. There you go. See? Then you can add your hair. So I'll show you how I make my hair. So what I do is I take, this is just a piece of old children's books that I use for junk journaling, and I use it in my workshops. And I just take my yarn and wrap it around my board. Something smells very like perfume down here, which to me is kind of smelly because I do not like perfume at all. Okay, so go till however thick you want your hair to be, so we'll just stop there for now. And if you want to know where I get my supplies from, most of them come from the thrift store, so I won't know where to link products, so don't ask me to link things because I'm not going to do it. I don't know where a lot of the stuff comes from. It's just I get gifted a lot of stuff, and honestly probably 80% of my spiritual supplies come from the thrift store, so I have no idea. Like, I love this beautiful yarn. Do I know where it came from? I have no clue. Okay, so that's all I do. So I hope you guys caught that. You can always rewind this video and watch that part again. So yeah, you just wrap it around that board to the thickness you want, pull it off, cut it in half, tie it in half, and then there's your hair. So I think I might actually use this hair instead of this purple one because I think it'll look better. But first, I'm just going to trim this part off because you can kind of see it from the front, and I don't want to be able to see it. Okay. So take our glue gun again. Add another stick. Don't pop out on me. Hang on. Don't do what I just did. I touched my the tip of my glue gun again. I'm so used to doing that. Okay, put a little bead of glue there. Then the knot side down, there's your knot. Put that right on top of your popsicle stick. On the lip of that popsicle stick. Okay? And then you can add glue along the side to keep your hair anchored in place. Don't put it too close to the edge, like don't put it along here because you'll end up getting glue seeping out onto her face. Make sure that when you're gluing that you're gluing kind of more along the back side here, like so, instead of right on there. Otherwise you might wreck your doll face, okay? Okay, so there she is. And what you can do on the back is add more yarn if you wanted and completely cover her head and hair. Or what I like to do is add a little hood. So even though she has hair, I still sometimes like to add a little bit of a hood like I did on this one, see? And then that just covers the back of the head. So I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap fabric here. And should I use the same one? I might use this one again. I'm just gonna cut a little piece off here. I like that flower, so we'll use that. And I'm just gonna trim this part off and this part off. And I am going to just fold this over. And then all I'm going to do, first I'm going to just kind of figure out how I want it placed on her. I think that's how I'd like her to be. Yep. So you just figure out where the placement of where you want her. And so what I do is try to keep it in place. think I want it back here more. Sorry if you're not. Okay, so I'm just playing with how I want it. So I want to still be able to see her hair. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of glue right there. This part can be a little bit tricky, but once you've done it a few times, it's really not that hard. And then I'm just going to put a little bit, bead of glue there and just tack down the hood on the side there. And then again on this side, just get the hair out of the way. Some of the hair might be stuck on there, that's okay from the glue. I'm just gonna do a little bead, line of glue along there. Okay. And then I'm just going to just kind of fold this down and tack this into place. There. Now you can play with the hair and figure out how you want her done. So see, sometimes this happens, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see a little glue seepage there, which I did not intend for that to happen. That happens sometimes. So if you can get it off, you can pull it off. And I'm going to try to pull it off because I don't want to see that. That's better. There. But if you can't get it off and you're going to ruin your doll trying, what you can do is get a little flower or grab some beads and just kind of decorate that area up so you can camouflage it. That's what I do a lot. Okay, so you can still kind of see that felt in the back, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue in there and just bring my hair over to cover it up. There. So now I kind of want to have her hair similar to how I did this doll with this pull it over a bit. So what I'm going to do is just grab a bit of hair on both sides, bring it to the back like so, and then I'm going to grab this little piece of ribbon I have here and tie it back. I'm just going to tie it in a knot. There. I like that. And it's not holding in place. Hang on. I'm going to stick that little bit of glue down again. There. Stay in place now. There. That's better. Okay, so see what I mean about this part? Sometimes it'll sneak up, so I'm just going to take some glue and pull this down a little bit. You just learn little techniques of how to, you know, make adjustments and as you go along. So that's kind of like the basic construction of the doll. And then with the kit, so people who ordered kits from me, they would have had like decorations that they could use in their kit. So in my part 3 video, I will share how I decorate my doll. But this is part 2 on what is a spirit doll. So the first video is what is a spirit doll. This is part 2, so this is the spirit doll construction. So part 3 will be embellishing your doll. So